What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Johnny Finesse. Welcome back to the channel. And today we have another Jimmy Highroller video. He says, "How can you stop this? How can you stop this? You can't stop the progression we're doing. You can't do that. So you gotta subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. We on the road to 900 subscribers, y'all. Just hit that sub button and tap that bell notifications too, so you don't miss a thing again, man. Okay? And hit that like button. Smash that like button. It really helps us out, for real though. For real." With that being said, let's get into it, man.
Regular season coming to an end, it's time we talk about the postseason and what we might expect to see over the next several weeks. Just a few days ago, championship odds were updated, and the Brooklyn Nets came out on top as the heavy favorites to win it all. The Lakers are the defending champs, but plagued by injuries and lack of depth. They have yet to show.
It wasn't that like it wasn't at the top neither last year. It was the Clippers. If you want to be technical with it, it was the Clippers that was up, the favorites. You feel me? Ain't nothing
anything more than flashing signs of their championship pedigree. The Clippers have the third best odds, but after doing their best impression of the 2016 Warriors last season, the doubt surrounding this team's postseason success remains. After a blazing hot start to the season, the Jazz were looking great, but with Donovan Mitchell missing a month of action and still sidelined, they'll need to find another gear if they want to make a deep playoff run. The 76ers have great momentum going into the playoffs, but they have yet to prove their system works in the playoffs, and the Bucks are still having nightmares of that whooping the Heat gave them last year. Of course, it would be just as easy to pick apart the Nets and their weaknesses going into the postseason. Their subpar chemistry, the constantly changing rotation and lack of identity, and the glaring fact that their stars seem to be using some sort of tag team strategy, refusing to all suit up together on the same nights, taking turns playing every other game.
No cap.
But there is a reason why odds makers see Brooklyn as the favorites going into this postseason.
Because you can't stop them. Even when they're together, they're getting like 70, 80 points a game. All three of them together. Like it's just not possible. It's like you have three people that can score 20 plus points at any given time. You can't focus on one person. If one person gets cold, you still got two. If two people get cold, you get one, and then you just gotta work around them. Like it's just mad hard.
Way better than their play, numbers, or even wins reflect. We will soon see the full potential of the Durant, Harden, and Kyrie big three, and it may just be some of the greatest basketball we've ever seen. So far this season, this trio has played 8 games together, a shockingly low number that resulted in 6 wins and 2 losses. And in those 8 games, here are the stats of their big three. Now, at face,
look, you gotta understand that Harden is the passer. He don't really want to score. He could score at will. Like it's not up to him. Like it's the way they focus, they game plan, from what I've seen from their games, is basically KD, Kyrie go to work. KD is going to be like the main scorer. Kyrie's going to be that person where that's the secondary scorer, but he's going to get buckets. Like either way, he's going to get buckets. You see, he gets buckets. Like it's either Kyrie or KD. Like they just dribble up the court, set up a play, get the ISO, give it to one of them. Whoever got the better mismatch. That's the game plan.
Durant averaging less than 24 points per game. Harden putting up great rebound and assist numbers, but averaging nearly half as many points as he did last season. And Kyrie clocking in a very Kyrie stat line. But when I see these numbers, I see 3 of the game's most elite playmakers not even playing to their full potential and still winning 75% of their games when they play together. These are the numbers of 3 players who are still learning how to play with each other, still learning each other's strengths and weaknesses, and in the process making quick work of most teams they play. And possibly even more revealing is that when at least 2 of the big 3 play together in any combination, the Nets have a 35-13 record, or about a 73% win percentage, which over the course of an 82,
meaning that all 3 of them is not going to be cold. Like it's always going to be at least one person going crazy on that team. There's always going to be one person going crazy, and the other 2 people can get you like 15 to 18.
2-game regular season is about 60 wins.
They're not going to give you less than 15.
We are talking about a team with hardly any chemistry and a roster rotation changing every other game that is still good enough to win 60 games in a regular season with just 2 of their 3 stars playing on any given night. There has never been a team like this one. When facing the best teams in the NBA, the Nets have a record of 16-6, a 73% win percentage, which means the Nets have a better record against the top 9 teams in the NBA than the most winningest team in the NBA has against the entire league.
See? And that's why we don't take the Jazz seriously.
Team was built for big moments against good teams, aka the playoffs. But when I say that Durant, Harden, and Kyrie have hardly played any time together, I mean that if you caught the Nets on any given night, you would swear someone was lying about this big three even existing. 72 games, and they only managed to lace up together in just 8. Either Kevin Durant is hurt and the other two are playing, or Harden's hurt and Kyrie and Durant are cooking up, or Kyrie is on a trip of spiritual awakening and Durant and Harden are torching some poor team. Watching these 3 guys play together is kind of like spotting a UFO. It virtually never happens, but when it does, it's unbelievable. This season, this trio has played just 202 minutes together on the court, equivalent to just over 4 games worth of minutes together. For perspective, when LeBron and Anthony Davis paired up last season, they played 1,455 minutes together before the playoffs. When Kevin Durant joined the Warriors back in the 2016-17 NBA season, the trio of him, Stephen Curry, and Klay Thompson played 1,127 minutes together before the playoffs. And when the trio of LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh joined forces in 2010, they played 1,916.
What he's trying to tell you is that this is the best trio in NBA history. That's literally what he's trying to tell you. Like, nobody can stop them, and look how much minutes they played together. And they already unbeat and unstoppable. Imagine if they had numbers like this. Imagine. So imagine next year, bro.
Minutes together before the playoffs begin.
Next year's clip.
In fact, over the last decade, compared to trios that won the championship, the Nets' big three has, by far, the least amount of minutes played together. It is staggering that the favorites to win the NBA championship this season have played such few minutes together on the court. But if there was a big three that could pull this incredible feat off, it's this one. But as valuable as each of these players are to the Nets' success this postseason, the key to their historic offense is James Harden, the engine to this entire system.
No cap.
One aspect of Harden's game that is criminally underrated is his playmaking ability. When he isn't forced to score 35 points a game to keep his team afloat, the Beard is a master at setting up his teammates and creating an effortlessly flowing offense.
No cap. He been trying to do
with
that.
The Nets, when Harden plays,
he been trying to do that when he was on the Rockets, but nobody was good enough to catch and shoot consistently. No cap. Not a single person. Not a single fucking person was able to do that. My fault, y'all. I'm just looking at the Supreme update. Like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't looking around.
Whether he's playing with his fellow superstars or not, the Nets have a 29-7 record, an unbelievable 81% winning percentage. And the more you watch him work his magic with this offense, it's pretty obvious why. Check out this play here. Jeff Green passes the ball to Harden for a high pick and roll. Now pause it here. Because Harden can hit any shot on the court, he demands the attention of 3 defenders, 2 of them completely committing to the ball, which allows Harden to make this easy pass to Green for the bucket. There's not much you can do about this. If Markkanen doesn't close out on James, he's got an open lane or an open jumper, which then forces Valentine to step up, which opens up Shannon in the corner. On this play, Harden comes off the screen, and look at this. Look at this. 4 different defenders have completely committed to guarding Harden. This is what happens when you have an all-world bucket getter running your offense. The defense is forced to pick their poison. And this is what happens when that all-world bucket getter is also one of the best playmakers in the game. And here's the catch. Kyrie and Durant aren't even on the court. Here's another play from that same game. Harden brings the ball down. The defense scrambles knowing he can pull up from anywhere. Gotcha, bitch! Open cut inside for an easy bucket. Yeah. And even if Harden doesn't make this,
he slowed the tempo down, acting like he about to shoot. He goes up because none of these dudes right here are like going at him.
Pass. The open cut by Brown forces the defender to pick him up.
You got
Kevin Durant open outside.
You got 2 options. You got 2 options now. You can either cut in for the easy 2, or you can pass it to KD for the easy 3.
All of this because the guy playing the point demands multiple defenders the minute he crosses half court. This was happening all night long. Harden controlling the game inside and out while scoring just 5 points. 5. The Nets can break you down in more.
Let me see. You got 5 points. How many assists? You gotta look at the 7 assists. You was chilling.
Ways than you can think of
that game.
And this is just one of them. While making this video, I read something interesting. Someone said that before Harden arrived in Brooklyn, the Nets were the Clippers of the East, with 2 great ISO scores, bad losses, underwhelming chemistry, and constant load management. And I'd have to agree with that. But with Harden's ultra-elite playmaking ability, Kyrie and KD get to exclusively do what they do best. Get buckets. Add in the most accurate three-point shooter in the NBA in Joe Harris, and you've got the most lethal offense ever assembled. Sure, the chemistry between these guys is still a work in progress. But let's be honest, Harden, Durant, and Kyrie have all been to the finals. In fact, between the 3 of them, they have 8 finals appearances and some of the biggest shots in finals history. Realistically, if you had to choose 2 players in the entire NBA to have the ball in their hands with a championship on the line, who would you pick? Personally, I'm going with those boys out in Brooklyn. 2 of the most lethal crunch time players the NBA has ever seen.
Honestly.
See, some teams are built for the regular season. You see this every year. They pile up win after win and look like contenders going into the postseason. Then come the playoffs and they fall apart.
Because you still got whack teams. There's a lot of teams that are not in the playoffs, bro. A lot of teams that are not in the playoffs that they get wins off of. Feel me? There's like 32 teams and 8 of them on each side. There's about half of the other teams that are not there that you probably play 4 times.
You question the value of those regular season victories. Well, this Nets team is on the other end of that spectrum. A team that isn't going to amass a crazy regular season win total, but when it matters most, they're going to run you out of the building. And to show just how different this big 3 is, here's a graph of the best crunch time scores in the NBA, with points per game in the 4th quarter on the y-axis and true shooting percentage on the x-axis. This is every single player in the NBA that has played considerable minutes in the 4th quarter. But most of these guys aren't making a huge impact in late game situations. Near the top, you'll find the best players in the NBA. Kawhi, Julius Randle, Jimmy Butler, the presumable league MVP Nikola Jokic. Go even further and you'll find the league's best crunch time scorers. Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, Giannis, Embiid, Curry.
Curry's not a clutch shooter. He is not.
Here's Kyrie, here's Harden, and here's KD. Yeah. Good luck to the other guys.
Good luck. Don't keep it close. That's what they're saying. If you're gonna win, you gotta blow these niggas out. You can't keep it close, because if they keep it close, you're in trouble. But hey, if you made it to the end of the video, you obviously like the video, so you obviously gotta subscribe. Hit that sub button. We on the road to 900 subscribers. I love each and every one of you that watched the videos, that made it to the end of the video. I really appreciate that. With that being said, I'm gonna highlight